Good day guys! We are here again for our new vlog. Today's video, we will tackle about the differences of the OS or the operating system when it comes to its user-friendly interface, the user sharing, its safeguard of data, the software update, its advantages, expensiveness when it comes to its system failure, and the developer or the owner and the CEO of the OS or its creator. But before we proceed with its differences, I'm going to introduce you first with the four most widely used OS nowadays. And they are the Windows, the Linux, the Mac OS, and the Android. Now, what is Windows? Windows is an operating system designed by Microsoft. The operating system is what allows you to use a computer. Windows comes preloaded on most new personal computers or PCs, which helps you to make it the most popular operating system in the world. Now, what is Linux? Linux is a Unix-like, open source, and community-developed operating system for computers, servers, mainframes, mobile devices, and embedded devices. For the Mac OS, it is a graphical user interface or GUI-based OS that has been released on multiple different versions. And initially, Mac OS was known as the system software. And lastly, the Android OS. An Android OS is a Linux-based mobile operating system that primarily runs on smartphones and tablets. And its four differences. I'm going to show you a table that will show the differences of the different operating systems or the OS.
So as what we can see in this table, the differences of these different operating system when it comes to their user-friendly interface is that the Windows has improved throughout time, especially for the beginning users, by smoothing down rough edges and creating a more user-friendly interface. Here are the 5 major reasons why Windows is more user-friendly than ever. First is that it is warmer language in dialog boxes. Second is that less cryptic blue screen messages. Third, its Windows Defender comes built-in. Fourth, the search is 100 times better. Fifth, settings app makes configuration easy. For the Linux is already incredibly user-friendly, far more than other operating systems, but it only offers a few lesser-known products such as the Adobe Photoshop, the Microsoft Word, and great cutting-edge games. It even outperforms Windows and Mac in terms of its usability. The Mac OS is frequently more intuitive for the new computer users than the Windows 10, though long-term Windows users may need some time to adjust to the interface. Some important features like the macOS File Explorer, known as Finder, are not as easy to understand. And for the Android is a user-friendly interface which encompasses a series of pre-built UI components such as structured layout objects and UI controls that you may use to create your app's graphical user interface. For the resource sharing, their differences is that in the Windows, general-purpose operating systems such as Windows NT have traditionally federated resource sharing in a fair manner, with the primary goal of maximizing Resource use. For the Linux, it enables resource sharing by using network file system or NFS, wherein a client mounts an NFS volume on a host. Both client and host use remote procedure calls. For the Mac OS, to access and share resources via Mac OS, Samba will be used to connect to another computer that is sharing a disk or folder. And for the Android, it intends and their accompanying extras are used by Android to allow users to quickly and simply share information using their preferred apps. Users can share data between apps in two ways. On Android, the Android share sheet is primarily meant for delivering content outside of your app and or directly to another user. For the safeguard of data, in Windows, business data is protected by Windows Information Protection, which means it can be accessed by unauthorized individuals via programs, documents, or the internet. While in the Linux, experts agree that Linux is highly secure operating system, possibly the most secure OS by design. For the Mac OS, it is a more secure operating system than Windows 10, both in terms of privacy and security, although both operating systems have similar security protections. Apple's browser is more secure and Apple shares less user data with third parties. For the Android, although Android includes essential encryption mechanisms such as full disk encryption and keychain to improve data storage security, the encryption key stored on the device remains vulnerable to physical threats. For the software update, upgrades from Windows Update and Office Update as well as updates for other Microsoft products and third-party device drivers are all available through Microsoft Update. For the Linux, updates are packaged in Linux and they are quick. Hence, Linux outperforms Windows 10 in terms of the performance. For the Mac OS, software updates begin in the background and complete faster than before once Mac OS Big Sur is loaded, making it easier than ever to keep your Mac up to date and safe. For the Android, each of the 5 major manufacturers has to customize the new Android update for its phones. There are many components and features to each phone, so it takes a lot of time to assemble them. And now for their advantages. In the Windows operating system, it supports for all hardware. It is of use, software support, plug and play feature, desktop and touch screen. For the Linux, it has a significant advantage over other operating systems, including open source software that anyone may contribute to, alter and improve. It can also be downloaded and used for free by the users. Linux operating systems are less vulnerable and secure than Windows. For the macOS, its advantages, there is a less choice. Mac has much higher quality. There are numerous useful apps. The Mac is far safer than the PC. Its every component is optimized and excellent customer service. For the Android, it has an expandable memory and runs on large and expensive devices. One of the most significant advantages of adopting Android-based smartphones is that they offer expandable memory. And iOS devices, on the other hand, do not permit external memory expansion through the use of a memory card. In their expensiveness, because Microsoft pays for numerous resources, technologies, and OEMs in the development of Windows, it is very expensive. Users are so accustomed to the platform that moving away from it incurs additional fees, and since its price is usually bundled in pieces, you don't expect to pay for it later, thinking it's expensive. Linux hosting company is less expensive than Windows Web. The reason for this is that the Linux is a more fundamental, basic operating system that demands a more advanced skill set and knowledge to manage. For the macOS, despite the fact that Macs are often pricey, many people believe they are well worth the money. A cheap laptop may only last a few years, but due to its super build quality, a MacBook can be used for much longer. And the Android are pricey. Granted, all of these phones comes with the newest processor, display, and camera improvements. And one of the reasons for the ever-rising pricing is the components cost, according to recent interviews with the CEOs. The differences of their system failure. In the Windows, a hard drive with faulty sections can cause system failures by preventing the OS from reading data from the hard disk. Because the computer is unable to handle requests or operate in general, a failed motherboard might result in a system failure. For the Linux, some devices had poor open source support, particularly drivers for 3D graphic chips, when manufacturers refuse to disclose comprehensive specs. For the macOS, the 5 common Mac problems startup issue is the incompatible login items, unresponsive application, spinning beach ball, and no internet access connection. For the Android may crash and restart regularly for a variety of reasons, including malicious apps, hardware issues, a catch, a data issue, or a corrupt system. For the developer or the owner and CEO or creator, Windows is developed and owned by Microsoft Corporation. The CEO of the Windows is Satya Nadella. Their creators are Bill Gates and Paul Allen. For Linux, Linus Torvalds is the creator, the developer and owner of Linux OS. macOS is developed and owned by American computer company Apple Incorporation. The CEO is Tim Cook. Their creators are Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne. And the Android is developed by Android Incorporation. Owner was brought by the American search engine company Google Incorporation. The CEO is Sundar Pichai. Creators are Andy Rubin, Rich Miner, Nick Sears, and Chris White.
And that's all for today. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, please subscribe and click the notification down below. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye!